Hey, true believers. Chris Mack coming at you today with Suicide Squad number 23. I felt after going over Batman 100 that it was important that we go over this book. Why? We'll explain here in a minute, but let's just go ahead and jump into this. And this, in and of itself, was a really interesting read. The print date on this was January 1989, and it's called Weird War Tales. And before we even jump into this swamp look and this silhouette figure, let's talk about who made this. This is John Ostrander and Kim Yell writers, Luke McDonald penciler, Carl Kess inker, Todd Klein letter, Carl Gafford colorist, and Robert Greenberger was the editor. So I like how we're here in the Louisiana swamp. And speaking of, we see a silhouette. Now, is this supposed to be our Sir Alec Holland? Not explained, but I like the little, poke there. Now, this person in this car, this is Amanda Waller. She's going out for a drive. And she says, nothing like a nice leisurely drive through Louisiana, scenic Louisiana. Helps a body collect her thoughts after all this invasion crapola going down. So I was like, wait a minute, I had to stop and look this up. So through 88 and 89, there was an event called Invasion. And I've never read it before. This was the first time I ever heard of it. But this is sort of like a fallout / cooldown issue to that event. So if y'all have ever read it, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below. Me, I still have event fatigue, so I probably will not be picking it up. And what I like here is Amanda is alone in her car. And we're talking about a lot of fallout from the previous Suicide Squad issue 22. And so we see her talking to Rick. And he goes, lighten up. I'm not really Flag. I'm just a projection of him. You've got me on your mind. And she's trying to work out where things went south on this mission where these two targets were murdered. Spoiler alert, so I won't give out the names here. But I like how, even in her mind, because I like how Ostrander here, even though she's thinking, and it doesn't just show this character sitting and talking to herself, it shows something that, like a sounding wall, or whatever that's called. It helps with the paneling and the pacing, so you're not just seeing a person driving around in a car. I bet that would be boring. But I like how the Rick avatar here says, as long as you can blame me, none of what happened is your fault. Is it? And, Waller's like, well, who do you think it is? This King of Siams? And then we get a moment with Floyd Lawton, dead shot. And then, again, we echo back to him saying, but none of this is your fault, is it? It never is. And the man even says, that's it. I've had it. Get out of my car. Get out of my head, the lot of you. And she's explaining how she is like, you can't even win an argument with yourself. So you can kind of see the mindset that Amanda Waller is in. So that is interesting. That is plot buildup for another part. Again, I always call it Claremont-esque because he always did it the best in my personal opinion. But this book jumps around a lot. We have moments with Waller. We have moments here with the Bronze Tiger. And then we have, what's her name? I cannot remember her name for the life of me. Let me see if I can pull it like a rabbit out of the hat. Hold on a second. What was her name? Nightshade. There's a moment with Nightshade. Sorry, I had to stop and think about it for a minute. At the end. So again, it jumps around, but it's building up plot points, helping push the story of this issue so it's not just like a build-up issue. Like I hate when you'll read a book and then the next issue you're hoping to see something that adds to it, but all it is it's like another build-up issue and you can just toss that one aside. That does not feel this way. So Bronze Tiger is having to be debriefed, and I can't never remember this guy's name, but we went over in issue 10, I believe it was. So he's kind of like a mainstay doctor, and so we kind of go back to this iteration of the Suicide Squad being in Russia, And I like how, as the Bronze Tiger is explaining his mission, you can see that him and, okay, so the guy's name with the beard is John. There we go. They have a rapport with one another. Like he said, I'd rather do the debriefing with you instead of when Waller gets back, because she's just going to ride me up the wall, and I don't want that. So the team here is Vixen, Duchess, and the Bronze Tiger. And they're going up against, what were they called? Give me just a second here. Oh, it disappears. But anyway, they are teamed up. It's this character. I cannot remember his name. You know, I read it, and then, of course, when you go to review it, your brain just decides to go. But you find out that they were teamed up with the Thangarians, so you're just like, wait a minute, what? And then there was another team. Oh, Starfire's team people. Oh god, what's Coriander's race called? Well, anyway, they are allies, I think, with them or something like that. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. A race known as the Okarans, there it is, dedicated to the art of combat. Your Starfire of the group called the Titans trained with them. The hawk-winged creatures called the Thangarians are their allies. Disgusting things. See, you just give me a minute and I will find it. This is what happens when you run out of coffee mid-review. So these, what do we just call they are? The Okarans are attacking. They're part of the invasion. And then this is where we just jump straight into the action. We're going up against the Thangarians, the Okarans. And what I like is how they express each Suicide Squad member's power. So how Vixen's, how she can channel, I believe it's the power of animals. If I'm wrong, let me know. But I love how the art team just uses these light silhouettes to show how she can use it to take them down. Especially here, like with the strength of like a beast like King Kong, she's able to smack out a Hawkman, which we know this isn't Carter Hall, but you get what I'm saying. And then, of course, the victory howl of a wolf. That is awesome. Now, Duchess. I think we went over her. I believe it was either issue 10 or one of the older ones. But I was like, she seems really excited from war. And she goes, well, there's more to the woman than I thought. She might actually be useful. One side. This needs firepower, not fancy kicking. I love this panel where she just jumps into it. Just boom, 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 yeehaw! Now, Duchess, what I found out after I kind of went back a little bit, is she is actually a female Fury from Apocalypse. This is Lashina. She's the one that has like all the wraps around her face. But at this point in DC history, I guess she has amnesia. She got shot in the head. So I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. So I want to go back and kind of read how it led up to this. That's why I kind of like this version of the Suicide Squad compared to like the modern ones that have more big names like Croc and Harley and Enchantress, etc. Because they have rich histories that they have to kind of dance around. As were these characters at this point, they weren't that big name of characters that can hold their own solo book like Batman, Superman, Lantern, Supergirl, Wonder Woman, etc. So I think what they kind of gave John Ostrander and this team just kind of carte blanche to do whatever they wanted with these characters. So seeing a female Fury is part of the Suicide Squad who joined willingly. I don't think she has a brain bomb, but she just joined because she wanted the action. So that, to me, I'm just like, yeah. So you get all these great pages of action. You get to see the, what are they called? The Red Stars? Hold on. The Red Rockets. And Duchess thinks that they're wusses because they pull out at the moment of all the retaliation. And she goes, pitiful. Your rockets turned tail and ran. Time to get this showboat moving. So Bronze Tiger at this point, as he starts talking about the tide of the war turning, or the battle, should I say, the war. And so we go back to all that. And then right after that, so we get this moment with Waller. So we kind of get some psychological stuff going on. And then we get some action, and you're like, yeah, hoo-ha! And then we get some drama. And at this point, I guess Bronze Tiger kind of has two love interests going on. He has Marie, who's Vixen, and then this other character who's Flo. And I like how Bronze Tiger, he's kind of mature about it. He goes, "I done that, John. I told her, and she don't believe me. Truth is, there never was anything there but what she pretended was there. Flo's nice, but she's still a kid. In a lot of different ways. Marie's a woman. That's what I want." And Bronze Tiger to me kind of reminds me of Luke Cage. So I think that's kind of cool. I really, every time I see him either in the animated films or, when he gets thrown into the Batman books, I like a lot of what I see with him. And I think, he was in The Soul of the Dragon. I think that's what that movie was called. The one where they kind of did the Batman in sort of the Kung Fu film. If you haven't seen it, awesome take. A lot of Denny O'Neil characters in it. But anyway, I believe Bronze Tiger was part of it, so I'm really starting to dig, and I'd love to read more about him. So anyway, we segue from him talking about him wanting Marie, but he's kind of torn between these two women. This is Flo, and I like how they sort of segue, how it says, "I understand, Ben. I just feel sorry for the kid. Unrequited love may be romantic, but it sure isn't fun." And then she's like, Pewter, I demand, who's the fairest in the land?" "Not me. Not so far as Ben's concerned. He's just interested in that witch Vixen. That's just sex. I offer him love." And so you can kind of see how she's still has a little bit of a maturity to go, as Ben was just explaining. Then she just goes, "I'm talking to you. I'll never know. You're just a stupid machine." And here is what I was talking about, where I said after reading Batman 100, I felt the need to go over this book. Is then the computer all of a sudden says, "Hello, I am Oracle. Is anyone present?" So here, this issue, Suicide Squad 23, first appearance of Oracle. Now this is all you get, because from what I understand, the first, because here it's not revealed that Barbara Gordon is Oracle. This was shortly after she was paralyzed in The Killing Joke, but I guess where she's actually revealed to be Gordon is in Suicide Squad 38. So I'm on the hunt. If you guys know where I can get a copy of that, let me know. But yes, this is the first appearance of Oracle. And then after all that, we get a moment with Nightshade and who's this guy's name? It's not Rick Flag. Rick's kind of missing at this moment. They think that he's, I think he's wanted by the government for what happened and the stuff that Waller was talking about. I just know his name's Tom. That's all I kind of know about him. If y'all know more about him, let me know. But we get this build-up where Tom wants Nightshade, but she likes Rick. So again, we get some more drama, and you'd think, who cares? But that's what makes comics so well-rounded, is you can get comedy, suspense, drama, action, horror. I was watching an episode of Comic Book Men, and they were talking about this relationship triangle, and the older cynical guy, he's like, "Are we still talking comics, or are we talking soapbox opera?" So that made me laugh. But it's true. Comic books has it all, and that's what I always love about it, because it can tell great stories, beautiful artwork, showing, not telling, visual medium. As you can see, like with Duchess, where she just goes full guns blazing, and yet in the more somber moments, like with Ben, where he's just talking to John, debriefing, he's talking about his love for Marie, and then the love infatuation that Flo has for him. Good stuff. Great storytelling. Not done so well anymore in modern comics, but you see how everything just kind of segues and feels organic and not abrupt to a degree. I don't know. That's just me. Let me know what y'all guys think down in the comments below. What do y'all think that, Oracle first was shown in the pages of Suicide Squad? So with all that said, if you guys have enjoyed this comic book, please first and foremost support your local comic shop. See if you can pick up a copy. If you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate it if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little squad bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys will get notified. Come to the channel, and as I just said, you all can talk with us, and we'd love to hear your feedback down in the comments below, or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, I hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading. Thank you so much for stopping by, and happy hunting, true believers.